You might be wondering, should I play Enigmatica 9 Expert? If you are looking for a chill progression, yet having to deal with some challenges without losing the nature of Expert packs, then Enigmatica 9 Expert is for you. I am JustAPotato. I played and recorded this pack for more than 300 hours and completed it 100%. This video will include a brief review of 4 components I found interesting through my game through and a tour of my 300 plus hour world, together with some tips for your journey. And don't miss the classical explosion every world should suffer. I will include a world download link in the description so you can do whatever you want with it. Let's start with the video. The first important point I want to tackle is progression. In any mod pack, progression is a key component. As an expert mod pack, most of the receipts and mod progression is changed, yet the mechanics of each mod remains the same. Nonetheless, expert-like packs tend to be overwhelmingly and unnecessarily grindy in some stages on it. There is nothing wrong with it, but what I noticed in E9E is that there is a balance between challenge and chillness, making the grind not so grindy, or at least not so noticeable. As in other expert packs, you must know the mods you play, and that can be quite a challenge for some players. One plus of the pack is that in case you are a newbie, like I was with many of the mods included, there are some learning chapters that you can read for some support, and if you don't understand something, you can always join the Enigmatica Discord and they will help you. And automation and autocrafting are very important in any expert pack. Most, if not all, expert packs includes an advanced storage mod like refined storage or applied energy 6.2, which regularly have autocrafting capabilities. What I really like about E9E is that autocrafting it is not overabused, so 90% of endgame won't be just sitting in front of a crafting terminal. In the same line, as there are some unconventional crafting methods like Nature's Aura, Ritual of the Forest, and Occultism rituals, you can take the challenge of making them capable of autocrafting like I did with the Ritual of the Forest, or you could just manually batch craft like I did with Occultism. So you not really feel obliged to autocraft with them, but give you time to relive if you do. And to finish, most mod packs always have some degree of adventure into it. I found a problem with adventure in E9E though. Although it is not the main focus, and despite the great amount of dungeons and places to visit, there is not much encouragement for adventure. The only time you will find yourself looking for adventure is when looking for the Queen Bee, taking down all of the Twilight Forest bosses, and looking for the right biomes to set up industrial foregoing drills. So there is a lot to wish in that. At the end, if you really don't mind the adventure part of a mod pack, Enigmatica 9 Expert might be the right pack for you, either if you are a seasoned expert player or a newbie into mod packs. It is a short, simple and light mod pack that properly connects machines with magic, and I would undoubtedly play again. I give this pack a 7.5 out of 10. So this is the 5th time I am recording this, recording the world tour. So I hope you like the small review. So let's just check how a 300 hour world would look like. This is not by far the actual looks of a 300 hour base. I think you could have more stuff with 300 hours. But yeah, I'm quite a slow player, so this is like 300 hours of Enigmatica 9 Expert. So let's start down here. In this side here, we have our imbuement chambers. Basically, imbuement chambers are your main source of essences, and it's what you are going to be using since the beginning of the game up to the last stretches. So I would highly recommend you to connect this to a ME system and be able to automatize all of this. I haven't, because I didn't think I needed. I just batch craft from the beginning a huge amount of essences. So I've really never had a shortage of essences. Maybe a variant of abjuration essence because I had to craft 2 batches extra of potions, 2 batches extra than what I needed. But yeah, this is something that I would highly recommend to automatize, to passive, or at least be able to autocraft with them. If we come down here, we have our Enigmatica zone. This was very simple to autocraft with. I had some problems, especially only with this Enigmatica. I had some problems that the items, especially for the teleportation core, it wasn't sending correctly. So it was sending first the spirit at 1 gem, making of the process not working properly. But yes, after that, it is just very simple. All of this works. Now if we come here, we have Paua in this side here. Very simple. This is the only, I think this is the only thing that is available from Paua. Yeah, this and the player transmitters. So it is not really that much Paua things in this modpack, at least in the expert mode of the modpack. So yeah, we have the crystal ball in here, which is also autocraft available. And here we have some matter condenser from which we can do either matter balls or singularities. And in this side we have our Enigmatica zone. This is a very extensive place of thermoneumatic processing units. Very fun to set up all of this. It was very entertaining, and yes, I really had no knowledge of pneumatic graph when I started all of this zone. So I really didn't know if with only this was going to be enough for the pneumatic graph or if I would be needing more. This place was such a mess. It was a really bad mess. But I managed to clean all of this and make it yet more cleaner at the end. In this place here, we have our storage room. Very basic. We didn't start with item vaults, of course. We started with some repositories from Ars Nouveau because they could store stacks worth of a double chest. And then we moved it to item vaults. I really didn't think we would need any ME drive for our storage purposes. So we just kept everything in item vaults. It was a pretty much nice decision to have. By default, these item vaults, they can only hold, I think it is 20 stacks worth of items. So it is not very efficient. It is better to have a barrel or a sugar box or a double chest in vanilla comparison. But Enigmatica 9, expert. I don't know if the regular Enigmatica 9 also does this, but it is configured so you can have up to 64 stacks of items. I think it is 64 stacks. So yes, pretty cool. And of course we have some heavy drives, especially for fluids and chemicals, especially because there is no that kind of super tank, to say the least. We only have chemical tanks, which can only be on basic, and the fluid tanks for mechanism, they can only be on basic also. And of course we have huge fluid tanks, but yeah, having these strikes, I think it was a better option. Then here we have ore processing. Ore processing, it is very simple in comparison to other modpacks. There's really not that much of stuff to do. What I would recommend you, highly recommend you, is upgrade your ore processing as soon as you upgrade your tiers. And what I mean about tiers are machine frames. There are 3 main tiers you will have. You have simple machine frames, advanced machine frames, and supreme machine frames. Each one of these, they are connected to one stage of the tree of life. So the simple machine frames is your door to machinery with neotic capacitors. Then you have advanced with spirited capacitors and supreme with nitro. So whenever you unlock the availability to do one machine frame of a superior level, I would highly recommend you to upgrade your ore processing. Now that doesn't mean that you will have to rebuild all of processing each time you upgrade, but just add machines to them. It's just adding machines to them. In this case, the last tier, if I have to name it, the last tier of ore processing would be including the crystallizer into the processing. But I don't think you need to crystallize all of the ores you're processing. In my case, I'm only crystallizing osmium and iron. Osmium because this is the only way of tripling, in this case, tripling the amount of osmium you get from one osmium clump. And iron shards because whenever you turn them into crystals, in the blast furnace, this will take 5 seconds. If we do from dirty iron dust, it will take 10 seconds. So yes, it is half the time. That's why I think it is worth it to have only those two resources into the crystallizer. The rest you can just process them as regular. Now before going down here, I think we can take a look at the outside of the base. So at the enigmatic garden itself, pretty much beautifully decorated. And one of the things that I mentioned in the review is that although you don't need to automatize these kind of weird crafting methods like the Nature's Aura Ritual of the Forest, I would truly highly recommend you to automatize them. Especially if you like the challenge of automatizing these kind of weird crafting methods. Because for this, you have to follow 3 steps. So you have to put the items into the wooden stand, then put gold powder in this shape, exactly in this shape, and finally plant a sapling and grow it. So it was very much interesting to decipher how to automatize this. And I was able to do that. It was very fun. And the same I would recommend if you do it for occultism. I haven't done it. I only batch craft everything. But I think you can. Yeah, see, I think it's quite simple to also autocraft with this. What you would most likely have difficulties on autocrafting is on craft with sacrifices. So maybe what you can do is either include into the regular craft the sacrifice spawn craft. Remember that with occultism you can spawn one immovable mob. So you can do that. You can first spawn the mob and then do the regular craft. Or what you can do is do 4 of them, 4 of these rituals. Have one spirit spawner above the farm, above the ritual. And whenever you are doing a craft, what you can do is drop one mob from the mob farm, and you can kill it with a modular router, for example. That's the idea I can give you. Now it is your turn to to kind of manage how to do it. I think it is very simple. It shouldn't be that hard. And then here we have our aura generation, which I also had a lot of fun trying to make aura production and also the aura logistics. It was very fun to do all of this, and also using the teleporters together with the aura attraction card. So instead of building many of these structures, we only can have one and then just send the aura in any place that we need around the base. And as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places where we send the aura. So yes, it was pretty much a good time investment to make this. If we come to the side, we have the rings of vitality, where life happens. We have these 2 world springs farms that they are very useful even in endgame. So you don't need to rush like a kind of full efficient industrial foregoing farm. You can only manage it with world sprigs and it will be just fine. But what you have to do is taking into account what crops and plants you are going to be farming with them. You have to plan that in advance. But yeah, you can survive with word bricks. I think the only place that you will need some industry foregoing farms is whenever you only want to farm one kind of plants, because in that case the word bricks won't be very efficient when producing stuff. And I also had to I had to rethink what crops to plant like 5 times. This is the 5th installment of my words brick farm. And here we have our brick mix. Well, one brick me only right now because I used the other one for something. And this is mainly for wool and experience shards. But yeah, brick mix, they are also very useful. And I would highly recommend to put some blazes and basalts. Yes, mainly blazes and basalts for the brick mix. You will need blaze rods in order to crush them to get sulfur. And then basalts, you will also have to crush them to get fluorite. Those are the 2 main reasons you want to set up basalts and blazes also with the brick mix. I didn't because I thought that the brick mix, they would only farm from passive mobs. Well, either passive or neutral mobs. But yes, then later I discovered that you can also farm mob drops from the hostile mobs. So yeah, it is a good thing if you have a properly set up Drigme farm with blazes and basalts mainly. This one, here we have our first source generation actually, the first method we used to produce source with witches and potions. It was very fun also to set up all of this and send the source back into a source tank. Well, not source tank, but a regular tank in which we would store liquefied source. This was very fun to produce. Of course, I deactivated because we upgraded into industrial immersive engineering mixers, and we would be using amethyst shards to get liquefied source. But this was the first way of producing source, and it was very efficient, very efficient. Well, of course, being able to build the mixers and being able to farm a bunch of amethyst shards with amethyst golems, it was a very nice thing and a very nice upgrade to our source production. Another thing I would also highly recommend to set up amethyst golems. They are very good at passiving this kind of crystals, and you will be needing a lot of sulfur and a lot of fluorite. So it is always good to have them on passive. Now, of course, I'll ignore these 2 structures. So yes, you can just ignore those. Now, if you come down here, we have our portal room. Let's go first to the overworld, in which we also have a small base. I built this large controller, although I think I'm only using 3 channels. Sorry, 3 P2Ps. It's 1, 2, 3 P2Ps. This was very overkill. But here we are processing abyssal seawater in order to get a brine, and then the saturated mesh flume filter, we are using it to process abyssaline. And of course the brine, we are using it here to get both lithium and estium, which are also 2 resources very important for progression. Of course, here we have our place farm to get essence and experience, also very useful. And in here we have our enchanting tables, that it was also used mainly for progression. I really like this base. Really like doing this base here. And of course, these other 3 dimensions, these 2, the end and the nether, they are only used to generate resources. In the nether we are generating blighted ichor and then some lava and glowstone on passive. And then in the end we are extracting enderium. And yes, and that was really one of the things I really didn't like about this modpack, and is that adventure is kind of ignored. The same with the bubbled bison. I think the bubbled bison is the one that I had most adventures, especially because you have to locate this structure here to get the queen bee. But yes, apart from that, there is nothing else to do here on the Bumblebee zone other than that, and maybe just get a lot of honeycomb blocks to extract them for honey. And if we come down here, we have all of our processing machines. We have here some create stuff for making source, calling clay, and charged Certus quartz. Here we have some compressors to get compressed blocks. Here we have our auto crafting CPUs and assemblers. And here we have our Ethereum supercritical phase shifter that we use to make Ethereum, and our etheric transmutation chamber. Then we have here our mixers. And again, whenever you are doing your base, take into consideration that plans might change. In my case, these 4 sites I was planning on making them crafting CPUs at molecular assemblers, but they ended up being mixers in order to get liquefy source. And this is what makes us energy. And here I have some for redstone acid. And we have more machines here. Also more machines here. And we have here our potion maker, but which that we used to kind of manually batch craft the potions for the modes. And I would completely recommend to make this auto craftable. And it is pretty much simple to do it. I'll just, I won't say anything, I won't give you any ideas on how to do it, but it is very simple to come up with something in order to make this auto craftable. And here we have even more machines. And this one was also fun to make it auto craftable with. This crushing glyph, which crushes a lot of stuff, especially dyes and some dusts. The ore dusts, we do it with this IE crusher, and we have here more machines, a lot of machines. We have one enriching factory for each infusion factory, and of course we have here some distillation chambers and some aura forges. On this side we have construction blocks, and then some other blocks like infused rock and other stone that are quite useful. And this place here, it was also fun to do. All of the refineries that we need for progression are here. Yes, here we do something. We do biodiesel. Here we do acetaldehyde, and with acetaldehyde in this one we do phenolic resin. Here we do quicksilver, and here we do ambrosia. Then here we have our small enderium chamber. With this, if we request something, if we request enderium, we will have here enderium, and the diamond, the kind of enriched dragon scales in here, and we would be getting enderium. And here we are getting the enriched diamond, the enriched dragon scales. And here we have our friend, the chimera, that produces a magicite. And finally on this zone we have more kind of, how to say it, like a variety of machines that they don't have a place, or I couldn't find a place. So a lot of stuff. And here we have our pandemonium, or modes of pandemonium crafting thing. It's here. And here's the pattern provider for modes of pandemonium. And for that we need pandemonium. And this is what this place here, this array of machines do, pandemonium. From here, if we input some honey fluid, we will be getting Elysium. With Elysium and some skulks, we would be getting the the echo shards. which together with some magicite and hydrofluoric acid will be giving us pandemonium. And of course we are kind of level limiting this, so we don't run out of pandemonium and we can have some for most of pandemonium. And we level emit this in here, in the input for the super critical phase shifter. We limit it at 48 buckets of pandemonium. So whenever we are at 48 buckets of pandemonium, this won't be crafting any more Ethereum. And in this place we have our Nether Star line. Very fun to craft. And of course some stuff, like random stuff we have around is these were 3 windmills, which were our first source of rotational stress units. This one here we used for our spawner cores. Also quite new place here. And as well as this small set of 5 spirit spawners with some zombies in order to get the skulk. So basically a small skulk farm. The same, very basic, but very effective. Very effective. And of course we have here our amethyst shards. Because we were running out of amethyst. And of course these 3 small structures, I really didn't want to decorate them because I was at the last stretch of the modpack. So yeah, I just left them there, like that. And finally, but not least, our Tree of Life, which I decorated a bit. I think it looks pretty nice. So the only thing I added is these like small branches around the tree. Some lightning. So as you can see, there are some dynamic edge lights around here, so it can give some kind of bright to the tree, because it was very damp. It was very boring, a very boring tree. Now it is at least illuminated. And here we have like each corner of the tree is like a dimension we visited for progression. So here we would be having the overworld, here the nether, here the end, and here the mumblebee zone. And of course each one has one trophy for each stage. And here of course we have our block of etheric brass with our eternal Tree of Life trophy in front of the Tree of Life at stage 4. And that's all the base. I really liked how it ended up. I really liked it. So if you go to statistics, this is how a 13.32 days worth might look like. So if we multiply this by 24, 13.32 times 24, 318 hours. Almost 320 hours. This is how a 320 hours base would look like. Oh, and something else I forgot. Here we have our small outpost. Yes, pretty much a small outpost. I don't know if you remember from the first episodes that I was running out of aura around this place before I built this logistics system. I had to go out to kind of build everything for that. So I built this small outpost here and just leave it here, like a kind of memory of the past. Oh, those such memories. I almost forgot about this. So again, as I mentioned in the beginning, there will be a world download link, and you will find my stuff in that chest over there at the coordinates. Well, you can see the coordinates right now. Minus 275, 101. That's where the base is. So you can just come here and do whatever you want. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll change the spawn point before I upload the world. But maybe I don't. So you have the coordinates there. You can just activate creative and just come here. Or just do TP. So yeah, I'll leave everything here in this netherite back here. Like this. And of course, I also will give you my tool belt as well. Oh, I forgot this Enderman. Let's put it here. Oh, it's not sounding anymore. It had music. Oh, that's sad. But anyway, this is the end, the true end of the series. And actually, I did craft all of the infinity tools in order to do 100%. And actually, there's one quest. There's one quest that I need to check. And it's the modded for dummies. And that's how we complete everything. 100% completion. Everything is 100% completed. So nice. And actually, let's grab all of the rewards. You know what? Can I grab more? No, that's all of the rewards. Look at all of this. Stuff that we don't need anymore because we already completed everything. I still think that the loot pack system, at least here in Expert, it's way overpowered. It is too overpowered. It is too overpowered. So we have all of the infinity tools. There were more. So we have all of our infinity tools. And let's grab the infinity nuke. So we can grab some abyssaline. In this mod pack, the biofield is abyssaline. We can grab this. And we have this infinity nuke, which is pretty much, I suppose it's a nuke, like its name says. And you know that every Minecraft series, it has to end with an explosion. I've never used this, so let's see how this works. Maybe I have to be on the ground for this. So let's put this here. Oh! Okay. Nothing is happening. I need a Madon. Oh wait, I have to unclaim everything first. Okay, I need to clean the steel. So let's grab this. Let's unclaim everything. Nice, everything is unclaimed. So now we can put back the infinity nuke. Close it. And let's hope we don't die. Okay. Where's the explosion? Oh, 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 oh. Oh. I even died. Our miss is a miss of line. Oh, well, I think we can allow the shitson just to see a bit everything. Oh. And this is the end of Enigmatica 9 Expert. I hope you like the series. I hope you liked everything. Look at the explosion, it's it's a lot. There was just some stuff that survived the explosion. More processing. Survived explosion. Its storage room also survived explosion. The portal room also survived explosion. And of course it was all of our, well, most of our processing. This wasn't even touched. This wasn't even touched. Oh, it was so cool. It looks so nice, the base now. It looks so nice. Look at everything. Just destroyed. Anyway, thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a better day, because it can always be better. And I'll see you on the next series, which will actually be Cosmic Frontiers. And I'll see you next time. Bye.